Hi, second graders. Mrs. Burkett here. I want to help you see how you would take notes, the second step in our informational writing. So you have this paper. We went over what informative writing is and the targets of students examining a topic and conveying information. I can do some research. So hopefully you've been learning and reading a little bit. I can introduce the topic and we'll work on that, but the research is what we're working on today. So I have shared a book about extreme weather and several books that you could read, and some of you might be able to go out online, but we read this yesterday about tornadoes and what is a tornado and how it's dangerous and can destroy and ruin houses and how fast the winds are. If you listen to it, go back and reread it, or you could pause this video and read it here yourself again if you missed that video yesterday. Or tornado is a type of extreme weather. It can be harsh. It can do a lot of damage. They happen in the United States and other places in the world, and there's a picture of the kind of damage that they can do. So again, you could pause the video and reread this again. How do tornadoes affect people and the places they live, and then how can you stay safe? So I just want to take a minute or two to model for you. If you were going to write about tornadoes, which is one type of extreme weather, and I'm just going to write tornadoes up here. Now, some of you, if you just want to follow this and use this research that we're doing together and the reading we've done together, that's fine. But I know there may be some of you who would like to maybe talk about another type of extreme weather that you know about and you're learning about. And actually, tomorrow's Read Aloud, which is our feature story, you're going to hear about other types of extreme weather, okay? But I'm going to just follow these questions, and I'm going to be using that information from that text. What causes this type of weather? And so I would write tornadoes are caused by what? And if you remember what we read, they're caused by thunderstorms, very strong thunderstorms. And you might even want to remember to put that word strong in when you do your final draft. So that's what a research organizer is. It's a place where we can kind of jot. Do you remember we talked about that if you watched the video about writing and writing informatively? So an organizer helps you just jot down and get all your ideas that you might use in your writing when you actually write your paper, okay? And then the next question we see is what kind of damage does this weather cause? A tornado can destroy property, and power lines was two things that we read about in there. So this word strong to go in there. Tornado. Now, when you start writing your paper on Thursday and Friday, when you're working on it, maybe some of you might even start on Wednesday. I don't want you to necessarily just copy exactly what was in the book, okay? I want you to imagine that you have read this book, but no one else got to read about tornadoes. So no one else knows what's in there, but you read it and you are sharing some of the main ideas and the main points that about tornadoes. Or if you choose to do another type of extreme weather, okay? I included 3 books in the reading today. They're leveled readers that go along with our feature story that we'll read tomorrow about extreme weather, wild weather it's called. So those books could give you some more information about another type of extreme weather, such as blizzards or hurricanes and things like that, okay? What are the features of this extreme weather? Key words associated with the weather. So when we start writing on our paper, we might want to use words like funnel cloud. We'll jot that down. Now, you could be looking back. I know you're watching the video now, but You could be looking at the text that you have read, or the Google websites if you've looked on a website, or other books that you might find in our digital libraries, okay? So you could be looking back for these types of words, because if you end up choosing, you don't want to just write about the thunderstorms, you might be using other words to write. And so whatever words you're finding in your text, the research, the things that you've read or videos that you've watched, you want to jot down those important words so that you don't forget to include them when you're doing your writing. Where does this commonly occur? Give an example of an occurrence. So write in that text tornadoes. We read that tornadoes mostly occur. And remember, if I'm going a little fast, you can always pause the video until you get yours done. In the middle part of our country, if you remember, they talked about Tornado Alley. Okay, whoops, didn't mean to write that Y there. Part of our country. So they talked about Tornado Alley, and they talked about, specifically, they named the city, that picture, I believe, was in Joplin. But they talked about how the wind, that scientists believe that the Gulf winds come up, and they meet the winds coming down out of Canada right about in the middle of our country. And that's kind of why so many tornadoes occur there. And they consider that part of our country Tornado Alley. What should you do to stay safe? And if you remember, if you go back and re-listen to it, or pause the video at the beginning where I showed the pages, it talks about the ways to stay safe. So to stay safe, and if you're sharing this information, you're the author, you want to be sure to include this information. This might be a different paragraph. To stay safe, you can practice drills and have a plan ready. So those are two things that we read about there. And there were some other little things you might include when you put your paper all together. And remember, I don't want what you write to just be a copy of exactly what another author has written, because that would be kind of like stealing, taking somebody else's writing and just copying it. What have you learned about tornadoes, or if you choose some other type of extreme weather to write about? Some of you might be interested in other types of extreme weather, like hurricanes or blizzards. For some reason, my mind going blank on some other types, but some of you probably know some other types of extreme weather. So you don't want to just copy exactly what you've learned and read, but put it in your own words. How would you tell a classmate about it? How would you tell about it and inform someone else about these things that you've learned? So interesting facts or questions. We learned one of the things is that more tornadoes, I think this is quite interesting, more tornadoes happen in the United States than in any other country, right? Another thing I thought was quite interesting is the fact that the winds can be up to 300 miles per hour. So I think that was quite interesting. Now, you might choose something else to share when you're informing. That you think was interesting. But whatever. Now, you pull out there for interesting facts that you think is important to share. So you can pause the video. I'm going to back it out a little bit so you can see the whole thing and get this information down if this is what you're going to write about on your paper, because I will talk about putting a topic sentence down and organizing your writing a little bit tomorrow. And then on Thursday and Friday, you're going to go ahead. I'm going to give you 2 days to work on it. And in your binder, you have, first of all, you have a graphic organizer. So we've done our research, and we're going to organize a topic sentence, a closing sentence, and some of the main facts we want to include. And then on Thursday and Friday, we will use our lined paper to write about whatever extreme weather that we're going to write about. So again, I'm giving you the freedom. Some of you may choose to do it something different besides what I'm modeling for you. But if you just want to talk about tornadoes in your informational writing, then this is what you can use, okay? There's something similar to it. So I hope this helps. Talk to you soon, boys and girls. Bye-bye.